All right, in this lesson, we're going to continue our discussion on probability by talking about the experimental probability. The experimental probability is just simply one way of estimating the probability that an event will occur. And to find the experimental probability, it is just simply found by comparing the number of times an event occurs or happens to the total number of times that you had trials. So the more trials you have, the more accurate an estimate's going to be. So copy the formula for probability into your notes. All right, and another thing is that if you have a P of a event or P parentheses with an event inside the parentheses is just a shortcut way of writing the probability that an event will occur. For instance, if you have P of heads, it means that the probability, that's the probability of a coin that lands heads up. Okay, that lands on heads. All right. Coming back up here, the more trials, if you only flip a coin or roll a dice 5 times, then that's, you're going to be able to calculate a probability that you roll a 3 from that. But if you roll that dice 50 times, that probability will be a lot more accurate with that. That's just simply all that means. Okay, so moving on. So during baseball practice, Zach got a base hit on 7 out of 12 times at bat. What's the experimental probability he'll get on base his next time up? Well, remember, probability of him being on base, okay, is the times on base, okay, the times on base over times at bat, which would just simply be 7 out of 12, right? And this can't be simplified at all, but make sure that you always write your probability in simplest form, all right? During basketball practice, Matt made 9 out of 10 free throws, okay? So the probability of making a free throw is just simply 9 out of 10. All right. So that's the probability that he makes a free throw on his next attempt. That's a pretty good probability. All right. Students have checked out 55 books from the library. Of these, 32 books are fiction. So what's the experimental probability that the next book checked out will be fiction? Okay, so probability of fiction is 32 out of 55. All right. Now the next part says, what's the experimental probability that the next book checked out will be nonfiction? Okay, so that comes down to, if you have the probability of an event plus the probability of we'll call it the non-event or the opposite of the event, all that has to add up to 1. Okay, so obviously either something's going to happen or something's not going to happen. Those are your two probabilities, and your two probabilities have to add up to 1. Okay, so what we have here, we would have, so the probability of the event of choosing a fiction book is 32 out of 55 plus x is equal to 1, but we're going to write that as 55 over 55, because remember 55 over 55 is 1. And then we're going to just simply subtract 32 over 55 from both sides. Okay, which gives us 55 minus 32. Obviously, the 55 is on the bottom here. So 5 minus 2 is 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. So the probability of a nonfiction would be 23 out of 55. All right. So if we understand this down here, then the key part is this right here, in the fact that to find the probability of a non-event, you just take the probability of the event away from 1. Okay, so students have a fruit choice for lunch of an apple or a pear. So far, 18 of 47 students have selected pears. Okay, so the probability of a pear is 18 out of 47. Okay, so the probability of an apple, what's the probability the next fruit will be an apple? Well, the probability of an apple is just simply going to be, because of the fact we only have an apple or a pear. Those are our only two choices. So the probability of choosing an apple would be, well, the 47 out of 47 minus the probability of choosing a pear, which is 18 out of 47. Okay. And when we calculate that, okay, so 47 minus 18 is 29. Okay, so the probability of choosing an apple would be 29 out of 47. All right, so that does it for this lesson. Make sure that you've copied those notes down on that first page, the definitions and how to find probability, and make sure you ask questions if you have any. We'll talk to y'all later on.